You know the drill, so I'll try to make it quick. For this list of 40 essential cooperative games, I've avoided games that are not available on retail or games that play better solo in my opinion. And I've also included games I don't necessarily like but that I do think belong in any good cooperative game collection. And today we're looking at numbers 20 to 11. Let's dive in. Legendary Marvel remains a staple of cooperative gaming. I hesitated to put it on this list because I know a lot of people prefer it solo, but it plays great with 2 or 3 players. It is a deck building game in which your team of superheroes have to defeat a mastermind and their minions. Chaining combos can be super rewarding when you build your deck right. Legendary Marvel has tons of expansions you can choose from, but also standalone variations of the game. Horrified is a game not unlike Pandemic, in which instead of a deadly virus, you have to fight and defeat monsters from popular movie franchises. Horrified American Monsters is of course a great alternative, or look at Back to the Future, Back in Time, and Jaws for other cooperative or semi-cooperative games based on popular movies. Robinson Crusoe is too punishing for my taste, but I could not leave it out of this list. You play as survivors on an island and have to deal with making a fire, build a shelter, and accomplish an overall objective while fending the many dangers of the island. For more island-themed cooperative games, try The Seventh Continent or Sleeping Gods. This War of Mine has a survival theme that you might like too. Cooperative party games are fairly rare in this list, but Codenames Duet is definitely one of the best out there. It is a 2-player game of deduction based on one-word clues. You have to collectively reveal all your agents before you run out of time. There are other games in the Codenames franchise that you might like, although they're not cooperative. Letter Jam is another cooperative party game for 2 players or more. Aeon's End is a boss battler in which you are powerful mages trying to take down a villain and his minions. This is a cooperative deck builder with some nice deck management mechanics that require you to plan ahead. The Aeon's End franchise has lots of alternatives you can choose from, including Astronauts for a more sci-fi setting. The Loop is a cooperative game of time travel where you have to defeat an evil scientist before he destroys the world with his duplicates. The game is fun and doesn't take itself seriously. If time travel is your thing, have a look at Shards of Infinity or Anachrony, which are not cooperative, or Time Stories for a cooperative adventure. Nemesis is a game where you have to collectively survive in a spaceship infested with aliens, but your teammates might have their own agenda. Although not based on the actual Alien IP, this is as close as it gets. If you think some games in this list don't make sense, please let me know in the comments. It might be a stretch to call Nemesis an essential game given its fairly high price, but the Alien movie franchise lends itself well to cooperative board games. Fate of the Nostromo, Legendary Encounters, or Another Glorious Day in the Core might work better than Nemesis for your gaming group. Well, you knew it was coming. My number 13 is Pandemic. I can't imagine a cooperative board game shelf without this game, in which you have to contain and defeat some viruses across the globe. Vanilla Pandemic itself might not be the one you'll pick for your collection, but there are lots of games you can choose from with very similar mechanics, including Pandemic Iberia, Forbidden Island, or Atlantis Rising. Descent: Legends of the Dark is a dungeon crawler which is app-driven so that you don't need a dungeon master. It is, in my opinion, a bit less elegant or more traditional than a game such as Gloomhaven, but still a very solid cooperative campaign game. If you like dungeon crawlers or RPGs with long campaigns, have a look at Journeys in the Dark, Midara, or Oath Sworn. The Lord of the Rings, the card game, is a deeply strategic game of adventure, deck construction, and combat in Middle-earth. Although you will need a lot of expansions to really appreciate the game, the core box is enough to give you a good idea of the content of the game. It is regularly getting praises from the community for good reasons. Game sessions can be a bit long and puzzly, but rewarding. There are lots of fantasy cooperative board games out there, and you might like Heroes of Terrinoth, Mage Knight, or Journeys in Middle-earth for various takes on the genre. Alright, this is getting exciting. Next we're going to look at the 4th and last installment of this series of essential cooperative games with numbers 10 to 11. Stay tuned!